is a wild one because awfully kind of a scary premise, and of course once you see it, it's incredibly dark and violent, and then you're just going, oh gosh, and kind of looking around. So this is going to be a fun one to unleash on the audiences, right?
You bet it is. There's a theater a little bit of a ways from me, and I don't know how they're doing this. My son and his wife used to go there when they lived downstate here, but it's a dinner theater. It's a movie theater where you're eating, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I'd want to be eating and watching this movie at the same time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not are those like boo type of scares, but it's just this slow creep out where your skin crawls with
Mhm.
every crunch of leaves underneath the killer's feet. It's like I can imagine somebody just taking a bite out of a burger and just going.
Well, these movies are very, very fun to make sometimes, right? Do you have a good memory from the set you think you'll always take with you?
Oh gosh, well we had a couple days of shooting. The first day I wasn't really driving. I was, being pulled by a flatbed truck, which was making a ridiculous amount of noise. So the next day we go back to reshoot everything because of the noise. And Chris Nash kind of, looks at me like this and goes, question. That flatbed made too much noise. Do you feel comfortable actually driving the pickup truck with a camera on the hood? And I went, no problem. So
Love
it was a really funny moment because um, Andrea, who I was in a scene with, she sort of just looked at me. She goes, really? And I went, yeah, come on. It's an easy piece of cake. And I'm going, oh my God, am I crazy? Inside, but never let them see you sweat, right?
Right, right. Well, people have been looking up to what you do for years, and it's such a fun job, if you can get in there and make it work and stay in there. And so what kind of advice do you give to those actors that are coming up to you, especially at the shows, and going, I want to do this?
Oh gosh, I just take every opportunity. I mean, I started my very first movie. I was handpicked because that's what Woody Allen does. I was
Hmm.
handpicked to be one of the Dalton students at the school where Mariel Hemingway was coming out of for a scene. And it was just even something teeny tiny like that, little day player type of thing. You can still take in everything that's happening around you and who has which job and angles and just any little job that you can do, whether it be a student film, independent film, or even just a small role like a background type of work in a movie or on a TV show. Soak it in because you learn so much from everybody else, and it'll inform, your career and your choices in the future.
Yeah, well said. You might be familiar with my co-host Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys, caught the Hail Mary, went in the Hall of Fame. I'm so proud of him, and he wanted me to ask you your Hail Mary moment, which is that moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for you?
Oh my gosh! Oh, I love that you have a football reference.
Yeah.
As a long-suffering Bengals fan, and my
Hmm.
daughter-in-law is a long-suffering Buffalo Bills fan, so
Yes.
they're going to be very excited about this. I would say, and it's not even a horror thing. It was when I had my screen test for the soap opera that I was on for 12 years, and the other actor, Chris Markintel, and I had a screen test together. And a lot of us back then knew each other from doing commercials, and we had done a Planters Peanut commercial where we had to do a whole hold down type of thing. And so we knew each other, pretty decently from working together in commercials. And we totally went off script. We did the lines as if on camera. And then at the end, he just did something totally impromptu. He went to kiss the character, which was not in the script. And I smacked him in the face. And it was like, that was it. They're like, you got that role and you got that role because we took such a big chance, to just improvise and in a big way.
I love that. Of course, part of this is having this great outlook and disposition that you do. Is there something that you keep in mind that kind of keeps you on the right path, even when things are tough?
Oh gosh, I do trail running. I do trail running, and it keeps me very focused, because if you misstep, just like in life, if you misstep and you fall, you gotta drag yourself back up and keep going. And
Mhm.
believe me, I've tumbled a lot in the woods. Well, last year I broke my shoulder.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah, but
Wow.
got back up and kept going.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Well, and of course, you're kind of used to Tomlin being chased by these masked people anyway, right? So
I know. It's true, but luckily, well, I don't want to give any spoilers, but
yeah,
I feel a little lucky in this film. If you haven't seen
yeah,
it, go see it. I feel very fortunate at the end of this film.
yeah. What is it that you suppose about these films that we just love and can't get enough of? Because you're watching it going, oh my gosh, but still at the end of it, we come out and go, oh, that was fun.
Yeah, it's the safety of knowing that that's not happening to you.
Mhm.
And with the killers, a lot of people, I want to say identify with the killers, but a lot of people root for the killers in some strange way, because he or she is unafraid. They're just going for it, and maybe they had a difficult childhood and saw their mommy's heads get cut off in the movies, not in real life, and so they're survivors themselves. So people identify with the survivor aspect, with the final people aspect, but they're darn happy that nothing's jumping out at them from behind a corner and doing a slice and dice on them. It's fun. People
Yeah.
like to be, let's face it. Who doesn't? How many times, when you're a kid, do you pop around a corner to scare your sibling, go boo, just to see them go, ah?
Yeah. I've done it. Yes.
Yeah, my brother and I did all the time. He was the worst. He still does it. So
Yeah, I love that. Well, last thing then, what do you suppose is that's so special about this one that, kind of so it's a reason it's been building this buzz and that everybody's going to enjoy it in the theaters?
it's just so unusual. It has no
Mhm.
soundtrack, so you don't have creepy music. You're creeped out by the tone, by the atmosphere. And because there's no distraction with, loud music and sound effects, you're in it with them. You're in it with the killer. You're in it with the victims. You're part of the atmosphere of this movie, and it just envelopes you with goosebumps the whole time. And people like that. It's complicated, but it's simple. It's done in a very reasonable, um I don't I don't want to use the word simple, but it's very deliberate. Every moment is deliberate, like a good meal. There's so many different textures and flavors of this movie that you just can't help be mesmerized by it.
We are so happy to have you on with us today because this movie, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. And I can't wait for people to see it, but they also, I don't know what to tell them about what they're about to see here because it gets pretty rough. But you must have the most fun making this one, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way you can prepare for going into watching something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking, this wherever in the world you are was looked like a nice place to be. Well, until you got there. First of all, where did you film it, and also how did you keep it fun on set because it gets pretty dark.
For sure.
Yeah, the majority of it shot in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Also near the Kawartha Lakes area. And it's beautiful up there. There's waterfalls, mountains, cliffs, tons of forestry, like you name it. So it's a very cool juxtaposition of where we're shooting it in comparison to what you end up seeing in the film. I mean, and you do see beautiful scenery in the film, a lot of it. And then all
Mhm.
of a sudden you see a whole lot of nastiness.
Mhm. And how we kept it light on set. I think inevitably when you're shooting like 14-hour days, you just go nuts and then you end up like bonding. Oh, you know what we did actually? Do you know that card game Speed?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would play that at like 4 in the morning. We'd be playing Speed while Rye was doing some of his walking shots and we were waiting. I'm still the undefeated champion.
All right, love it. Well, and then of course, some of these scenes that we'll see, some of these kill scenes are it's so much, but filming those, right, it's actually kind of a joy, right?
Yeah, specifically too, as a fan of slasher films and horror films growing up in the '80s and seeing all these films and the franchises and everything. It was very very cool to step into that kind of character and to kind of create a different version of those types of character, and then for it to get the attention and the love that it's been getting, it's just absolutely insane. I mean, it's what you hope for whenever you step into a film and do something like this. You're just hoping and praying that it's going to get the kind of love that that everyone's setting out to create, but you can never expect it. It's wild.
Hmm. And then, of course, people look up to what you do and they think, that's what I want to do. You guys make it look so much fun. But it's certainly harder than it looks to not only get in it, but stay in it. So what kind of advice do you have for people that want to follow in your footsteps and get into this crazy film world?
Do as many different things as you can. Get as much experience in as many different areas as possible. Um, do yoga and hit the gym and try and stay in shape, because they're hard days. They are physical and long, and not that they're not fun at the same time. But the more prepared you are for it, the easier they will be, and the more experience you have with in different areas, the more you can kind of bring to the table with it and create something new.
Yeah, I'd say
Mhm.
find your community, find your people that keep you going and keep going because it does get hard, but keep going. And if you love it, it'll be so worth it.
Mhm. Yeah. And is there something that you keep in mind that kind of keeps you on the right path? Maybe a mantra or something you tell yourself, like, when those days get long or you just keep walking through the forest and going, oh my gosh.
Um, I I have I've actually got a tattoo on my forearm that says "Be here now," and it's a philosophy a lot of people live by, just by being in the moment and appreciate the things that you love and do the things that you love to do. And honestly, I love. I'm such a film geek. I love movies. I just every time I'm on set, when it's when you're exhausted or the weather's not great or there's mosquitoes or anything, I just constantly think, I'm like, I love this. This is what I want to do. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else doing anything else. And still, some days some days can be tough still, but that's the thing you got to tell yourself and enjoy it.
I
Hmm.
love that.
Would you say the same thing, Andrew?
Yeah, I just always bring myself back to the why, like why I
Hmm.
started it. And it's just, I feel like a kid in the best way whenever I'm on set. Like it just feels like home to me. And creating, I think just that collaboration with people and being so lucky to work with such incredible people like Rye, like all these people with a similar mindset, who just want to do the thing. I mean, this was an indie production. We did it for like no money, tiny cast and crew, and we had an incredible time. So I think that's just a
Mhm.
testament to the people that were on this project.
It's very
Yeah.
true.
Absolutely. Well, and of course, with this much blood and guts and bones and these kind of things, there's got to be something funny that happened too. Like with all this, do you have a kind of a funny memory to kind of offset all of the gore?
I don't know if I have it. Rye, do you have one?
I don't know. There was a lot of moments where just we were laughing, like in the moment something would happen and somebody would crack a joke. And there's so
Yeah.
many so many different film personalities, like people who just know so much about different types of films and different areas of films, that somebody would say
Mhm.
something and everyone just kind of gets it. so it's great to be again around people who get you and understand the moment. And but honestly, like probably, I'm sure there's got to be footage of Johnny falling over a route or something while we're walking. Like I knew I fell multiple times for sure, just from not seeing something or whatever. And Johnny would be walking and he just tips over. So that would probably be pretty funny to see. And I definitely laughed when it happened.
All I can think of is Sam Rulston, who plays Aaron in the film. What he had his he got like a dummy made of him, like a replica of his face, and he was like holding it and posing with it and just like carrying it around. It's like this is the most bizarre thing in the world.
I love that. Well, my co-host Drew Pearson famously caught the Hail Mary, went into the Hall of Fame, and we're so proud of him. And he wanted me to make sure that I asked you your Hail Mary moment, which is that moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for each of you? It's a
Wow,
unique one for you, right?
that is such a good question. Honestly, dude, it's like it's such a roller coaster being in this
Yeah.
industry, as I'm sure you're aware. Like, I feel like I have a Hail Mary moment every other week, but I think that's what it is. And like I said it before, but I really do think it's about uh every moment where I was like, I should just quit and open a cafe or just like do graphic design or something. Every time that pops up, I just honestly I think of my parents and everything they've like their support and their love, and I'm like, God damn it. Okay, let's keep going.
Absolutely, right?
I honestly, I think I have to agree with Andy there. I mean, perseverance is the Hail Mary if you're going to be in this industry, I think, because just you got to have that. You got to have the drive and the want to and the need to do it and create. And yeah, I think it's got to be a consistent thing, or else if you do that one big thing and you don't got anything else in you, then it's game over, right? So yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, we're so happy that you brought this one to us. It's so much fun. We're going to tell everybody to check it out and looking forward to talking to both of you again very, very soon. And best of luck with this.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Okay.
thanks
Bye.
so much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Recording stop.